Anyway, let's welcome Jeff Potter, former Frontier Airlines CEO. He is now founder and CEO of Manifest. That's a travel club that pairs U.S. travel destinations with private air travel. And Jeff, how is business there? I was thinking we're driving a lot of places now, and it just if it's a short hop, people are driving, aren't they? I would think business travel between L.A. and San Francisco is just zero on airlines now, right?
Well, I think you're right. I think, to the earlier point, I think we're in a situation right now where most industries, but certainly airline industry is, they're dealing with a deck of cards that there's no face cards. It's all jokers. And, they're trying to react as best they can. But I think, video conferencing certainly has an impact. But, when we talk about is this a new normal, I'm not a believer this is a new normal. I believe this is obviously going to go on for 6, 9, 12 months domestically. Internationally, it's going to have longer-term implications. But, at the end of the day right now, a lot of driving, a lot of RVs. But I think that what that tells you, both from a leisure perspective, but also from a business perspective, is there's this pent-up demand. And I understand the position of, who wants to see somebody else. But, ultimately, by human nature, we're social. Business still is done in person. Again, video conferencing is, in my mind, actually enhancing improving the efficiencies of business. But, when we look out a year from now, I do think we'll see things really come back to pre-COVID type levels.
So at this point, net for private air travel, has COVID been a net positive? You could see reasons why it would be, but if people don't want to go anywhere, then it wouldn't be a net positive. So which is it? Is business better or worse or the same? You've probably heard a lot, read a lot, reported a lot on, private air. People are gravitating that direction. But in my mind, that audience is still somewhat limited to corporate, high net worth individuals. Some of the things we're doing at Manifest on the leisure side is trying to find efficiencies that we actually broaden the market audience. So I think net right now, it's, I think there's a lot of inquiries of, is private air an alternative for whether it be business or leisure? It is, but the price point is still somewhat aspirational versus realistic for most. Yeah, and I gotta tell you, I don't want to take it here, but I'm going to now. It is aspirational, and even if you get a partial share of something, or you want to charter something, if you're going to fly private, you're trying to broaden out the number of people that can do that. If taxes go up on people making anything over $400,000 a year, don't most people who fly private, isn't that sort of a base number for people that are even able to consider flying private? And I just wonder, the election could matter.
Yeah, I actually think that's a realistic number right now. And again, what we're trying to do, and, we're a leisure-focused business. We're chapter-based, so we start with the major metropolitan markets. We just announced last week Denver, L.A. Basin, and San Francisco Bay Area. But, what we're trying to do is take advantage of the shared economy, but also find some efficiencies that actually lower that target audience. And, it's something that's not been done in private aviation, to my knowledge, in the last 20, 30 years.
Taxes are going up there, Jeff. If Biden gets elected, he has stated that he's going to raise taxes on people making over. I guess you'd need the Senate too, and it's going to be tough to. Maybe it's going to be tough to raise taxes in general in a weak economy. But 400,000, right. I was just thinking that's your target group. And I don't, in New York City, that's not exactly a fat cat. I guess it is in relation, and we don't want to be, we don't want to be jaded about things, but that would affect private air travel. I would think. What would you do? Are you glad you're not? Are you glad you're not running Frontier or one of the carriers right now? It must be
Yeah, it's a great question. When I left Frontier, it was back in the financial crisis, but very similar to now. The situation was back then. I was thrilled to be out of the airline business, but I quickly found there was no place to hide.
And so, I went in the hospitality sector at that time. And it's very similar here. Obviously, the aviation and the airline industry is critical, to this country's, economy. But at the same time, so many industries have been impacted that, again, I'm glad, there's a great leadership group out there in the airline industry right now. And, that's one of the core components of managing their way through. So, they're all tested. They've all been through certain situations. This is 10, 20x as bad as, whether it's post September 11th or certainly 08 through 2010. But, I think they've managed it as best they could so far.